the nasopharynx as well. So we have the parotid salivary glands. We have the submandibular glands here. Here is the esophagus. And actually, sorry, take that back. Because of where it is, it's actually the oropharynx at this point. Obviously the tongue here, teeth. Here we're just about starting to branch off, where we've got back here, the beginning of the esophagus. Here is the larynx. Here is the laryngeal prominence of that thyroid cartilage. See, okay? So thyroid cartilage, laryngeal prominence. And as I said, this is the esophagus starting to come out here. But not, it won't be fully the esophagus yet. We'll look at it in the next one. That's all that. It's just all, it's all musculature. Yeah, all of these are just superficial muscles. And let me see if there's anything else we want to point out here. Laryngopharynx is what this overall region would be called as well. Here we have the separation now. This is actually the cricoid cartilage right underneath that cartilage we just saw there. And here's the esophagus now separated from it. Okay. And then the next one here. We're now into our trachea. You can see the C-shaped cartilage in blue, the trachealis muscle behind it, the esophagus here. We have the apex of our lungs here. The trachea.
Lymph? Hello?
I don't remember what, to be honest.
Okay, we
do
don't
with
need
the
to know.
yellow here, and we have never done anything with the yellow. They might be lymph nodes, but this one connected. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yep. So this is the branch point, as I said, of the main into the main bronchi, the carina right here. Still, we're into the esophagus, and now you see the lungs. You can see the superior and inferior lobes of the lungs here. Here you just see the superior lobe.
The carina.
So the
Yeah.
carina, because you can see
Right,
the
because you can
two-
see they're
Okay,
starting to branch off,
that's
so you can see that, and
branch
that's
out.
that's
Oh,
one
that's
that
what
they,
it was. Oh,
yeah,
I
and
see.
they like to put that on the lab exam. So. Thank you very much. I'll just wear that. No, that's fine. I'll just wear that. So we still have the esophagus, superior, middle, inferior lobes, and superior, inferior lobes of the lungs. So on both sides here. Here's our missing one. This is the direction it was in. So you can still see those lobes, superior, middle, and inferior, superior and inferior. Now we still see our esophagus. And then what comes into view here is the liver. The liver pushes up into that thoracic cavity. It's not actually truly in the thoracic cavity, but when we do these slices, it looks like it is. And what's around this liver, this is one they like to do too, this is actually the diaphragm muscle.
Hey,
Again, it's just pushing up into it. It's not truly there.
Doesn't really go around it
Right.
either.
But this is the diaphragm muscle. This is the inferior vena cava.
So that would still be this is the esophagus.
This is still, yep, the esophagus all the way down there. The esophagus now disappears because the stomach comes into view. So the esophagus has now gone into the stomach. We now have beside the stomach full view of the entire liver, which takes up the rest, besides the spleen, that takes up the rest of this view. So this is a good one because we did we do lymphatic this time, or was that last time? That was we already did lymphatic. So we have the liver. This is still the inferior vena cava, and the stomach here. So those are the big things here. And this is the most popular section.
Wow.
So again, the liver. We have the gallbladder. We have the pancreas, the tail, the head of the pancreas.
Tail, head, body.
And body, yep, of the pancreas. Then we have here, this is the duodenum. So the stomach was right here. The beginning of the small intestine is the duodenum. So this little thing is the duodenum. These are other portions of the small intestine. We don't know what's what because, as I said, it's kind of all jam-packed in there, so we don't know where is what. But here, of the large intestine, this portion of the large intestine is the portion that's coming up. So this is the ascending large intestine. We could even say it's close to the liver, so it's the flexure, but it's not actually. Just because of where it is, it would be a little higher for the flexure. But here, you can see it's really wide right here. It's actually at the turning point where it turns right near the spleen. So this is what we call the splenic flexure.
The beige part is the flexure.
Well, the beige part is just the inside because it's been sliced open to the inside. But yes, if we label this region of the large intestine, it would typically be the splenic flexure. Some people just say it's the descending colon on this side, but this is ascending, this is descending. Yeah, so there's quite a few things on here. Again, all the pancreas regions, the duodenum, gallbladder, liver, ascending colon, splenic flexure, descending colon. These are kidneys.
Kidneys and spleen.
And spleen, but we haven't done kidneys yet. We will get to them. This repeats almost all the things we just did. We are now actually, this is not the duodenum anymore, this is just more general structures in the small intestines. However, all of this white tissue with blood vessels in it is the mesentery that holds all those small intestines together. So if we just put a label in here, this is mesentery. We're into descending colon here, ascending colon here. This is the cecum, that little pocket right here that we call the cecum. Mm-hmm. We're missing another slice. Let's see. Does it look like it fits right on the front?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Okay. I feel like on the back side of this we've got some of the rectum. So this is essentially the end portion of the rectum here. Going into then the anal canal there.
And what are these two?
It's a wonderful question. I have never been able to figure that out. One has presupposed that it's something to do with the reproductive system of a male, maybe the prostate. But we honestly can't, I've never been able to piece it together. Because it doesn't make any sense with everything else that's there. So yeah.
And is this muscle? Seems like it would be muscle.
Oh, sorry. The things I just pointed out are actually bladder. Let me take that back. This is bladder.
Oh.
This is bladder. That's why I'm confused. This is rectum. I'm like, wait a second, something's off here. Well, how did it just get so small? That's why. Okay, so it's gray here. My bad. Gray, large intestine, ends up going to the sigmoid, which is probably on the other side here, if we can get it.
Oh, it's double-sided.
Yeah, these are double-sided, which we don't flip them over. So that the sigmoid must be within this slice. Then we're into the rectum there. It's still rectum on. Yeah, still rectum on this side. And then it essentially ends up in the anal canal. So sorry.
That's the
I was looking at that from this side,
Yeah.